He's like, yeah, everyone, especially in the older neighborhoods, the country club areas, those people already have house cleaners. Find these, networks and these opportunities, and really just people not showing up, right? Man, if you guys show up, you're reliable, you have more professionalism, better systems, like you guys are, that's what he said. He's like, you guys are gonna get rich. All right, what's up, Profit Cleaners? We got the Brandons in the house. We're driving on the road in the Southwest here, as you can see. And in this video today, guys, we're gonna just recap what we just did. We went on a trip looking at a new market. A lot of you guys might be asking, hey, how do I start a cleaning business in a new market? Or how do I expand to a new market? Well, this is how we did it. The last couple days, we've just been looking at new markets. So we're gonna share what we've been doing. But just really quick, Brandon, let's just give a quick recap. We're gonna roll into another video we recorded at our Airbnb last night, just going into the finite details of what we did on this trip. But let's just tell them what we did today, Brandon, and
yeah, so
we'll roll into it.
The other video will have all the details, but today we met with one of the top producing real estate agents in the state, but certainly in the city we were in, and he kind of gave us the lowdown on why people were moving there, why there's so much new construction, what neighborhoods he would focus on, and then he confirmed our suspicions about the neighborhoods that are in the longer videos, so we know where we're going to target marketing.
Yep.
We talked about planning a launch event with partnering with a local golf club, which is around all these houses that are being built, so he's going to put us in touch with who to talk to there. And then we talked with him about being a brand ambassador. So this is kind of something new that we're going to do when we roll into a new market, but we're going to identify 5 to 10 people that will have some little cards with like a QR code on it type of thing.
Yep.
And they're going to hand those out to spread awareness that we're coming, but also to find us the review cleans that we want to do as we're training the team, so that when we do launch with paid ads, there's a bunch of reviews, dozens of reviews in that city already. So when someone's looking at the paid ad, they're like, oh look, there's already 25-star ads that came from, or 25-star reviews that came from this city that we're in. So I'm in, like that. I know that guy, he's my neighbor.
Yeah, exactly. So but it was really, I think today was really cool, just meeting with the realtor. Realtors are amazing connectors, right? And they know the market, they're highly underutilized. So if you guys are looking at expanding in your market, starting from scratch in your market, connect with realtors, connect with the Chamber of Commerce. These are the people we were talking to. Even just like walking into random local coffee shops and just like asking the locals, hey, where are the good neighborhoods? Do you think it needs this kind of service? That's what we were doing. We were just kind of just scoping out the market. This is kind of what we were talking about, Brandon. We didn't really do this as well when we were looking at expanding to Texas, right? So no,
this is totally different. In Texas, we were minimum viable product, but I think we did negligent viable product. Like we needed more than that. We undershot the minimum. Yeah. So this is not a minimum viable product situation. We're an established company expanding to a new market, but even if you are talking about starting from scratch, you can still take a lot of these tools and put them into practice. So same thing, we're trying to do like a guerrilla marketing, grassroots type of awareness thing, coupled with an event in town to let everyone know that we're launching and people will be invited and so on and so forth. So it's not it's definitely a different tack. We're also trying, and again, this is all in the longer video you're about to watch, but we're trying to get some local press involved, so there's details on how to do that. So I think it's going to be completely different than how we did it in Dallas. Yeah, it's much more thought out. You want to spend your time doing the due diligence, thinking about all this stuff, guys, because it's a big play. If you're going to do it right, do it the right way. Like, spend the time figuring all this stuff out. But I think it'll be interesting for you guys to just hear how we're thinking about going through each one of these things. We're going to roll into this other video here in a second, explain all the details more so. But I thought it was interesting, the realtor we were talking to today was asking, like, do you think people are going to adopt this? What about people that are stealing stuff? He was like bringing up these other issues, like how are people going to trust you? I think that was his bigger question. Yeah, right? He was asking a lot of questions that he doesn't know us, he doesn't know the company, so these are a lot of things that we've already covered, that are already on the website. The customer service team already knows how to talk about it. And so we had an answer for everything that he said, and at one point he was like, you guys are going to be rich, because like we had an answer for everything. And so I think a lot of what we're competing against down there are going to be, so-and-so's got a housekeeper they've had for 10 years, but as we've shown before, housekeepers tend to be not so reliable. They may not show up if their car is not working, and sure, you're going to be understanding because our pitch. Our pitch is not the cheapest cleaning. Our pitch is high customer experience. We show up when we said we were going to show up.
Yeah.
We are going to show up no matter what. There's an experienced team. There's high maintained cars. It's a big thing compared to competing with your neighbor that has someone come in with a mop and a broom once a week.
Yeah, and so he made a good point, and this is the same in your market, guys. Like the same opportunity he was explaining here was, he's like, yeah, everyone, especially in the older neighborhoods, the country club areas, the bigger houses, the older wealth, those people already have house cleaners. They already have a cleaner, right? So we either have to do something better to attract and kind of take that business away, or in our case, there was a bunch of new developments being built. There's like 8,000 new homes going in this part of town. So all those people are going to be brand new, coming from other states, other places, moving here, retiring. Those are going to be amazing prospects to look at because they are brand new. They don't know the market. They don't already have a cleaner. So if we can find a way to work in, and this was the realtor's idea, talk to the title agencies, the title companies, the golf courses, like just but bring something together where when people get a new home, they get this automatic cleaner thing rolled in their title package. When they close on the house, it's some cleanings built in or whatever. So find creative ways to do that. But also just, what the realtor was saying is, find these, networks and these opportunities, and really just people not showing up, right? He was like, man, if you guys show up, you're reliable, you have more professionalism, better systems, like you guys are gonna, that's what he said. He's like, you guys are gonna get rich, because basically in most towns, guys, people don't show up. They're mediocre at best, right? So this is one of the biggest ways you can stand out, differentiate yourself, and just, again, having, instead of having that limiting belief of like, how are we going to break into this market? Are people going to want this service? Like, or even what he was asking, how are people going to trust you? Again, when you think through all these things and you guys have the systems to be reliable, to show up, to do things better, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? Like, really, every market, we were just talking about this, Brandon, like every market has a huge potential, because there's people there with houses that with money, they're going to need cleaning services, right? So
yeah, and we recorded a podcast episode recently where we were talking about, how many customers do you need to be in $1 million? How many customers do you need to get to 7 figures?
Yeah.
At a $250 invoice, it's 190. So can you talk 190 people into a new market to give you a shot?
Yeah.
I think so. Like, you're going to offer some discounts and stuff to talk them into it. You're unknown, so maybe there's a deal where you get X amount off the first months, but it's totally doable. Essentially in any market, but each market is different and has its own challenges, but certainly the one that we found here that we haven't been to, I haven't been to this place since I was a kid. And I think it's ripe for disruption in the form of an organized cleaning company that actually answers the phone.
Yeah, exactly. It's really like the last 2 markets we looked at the last day or two. One had 100,000, not 200,000 people.
200,000 people in the metro area versus 800,000 people.
800,000. So really, you need a fraction of a percent of the market. Like, can we get 200 people in a market of 100,000 or 200,000 people? Absolutely. So it's just like, think bigger, because a lot of times we have these limiting beliefs of like, I don't know if people will pay for it or if there's enough demand. Like, if there's like no growth and no money and everything's slow in the market, like Flint, Michigan, you were mentioning earlier.
Flint, Michigan, maybe not the best place to go,
maybe
but I haven't been to Flint, Michigan. I'm talking about the Flint, Michigan of the movies of me and Roger, like these are documentaries about how the city collapsed after car companies pulled out. So like not every city, I guess, but if you have a city where people are, I think one of the things that we saw when we drove around is that there was a lot of activity on the constructions. There's new houses, the roads are being redone, they're building new shopping centers. So that to me screams, we have a healthy economy. There's things going on. So in your city, is it stagnating? Are people moving away and the population's declining? Maybe that's not the best scenario, but if there's a part of your town where things are being built, new stuff is going in, that's the opportunity. Yeah,
absolutely. So I learned this a long time in real estate, a long time ago, but like when you see cranes in the air, when you see tractors, when you see houses being built, that is a good sign. That is a sign of growth and movement, and things are not stagnant. So you want to get in front of that wave of growth, especially like in this new market. We didn't even know this was happening. We came down here and we drove into this town. We were like, oh man, this looks really bad. I don't know if this is gonna be a good idea. And then as we drove further into it, we were like, oh my gosh, this is a gold mine. Like, look at all this development happening there. You know, thousands of people moving here. And so if you can get in front of those waves of development, I know there's lots of markets doing this, like all over the country. Like, you know, so just get in front of those waves. And even if you're in a smaller market, we have lots of students with craft cleaners that are in smaller markets doing this. Again, guys, you don't need a ton of people to create a massive, thriving business, 7-figure cleaning business out of, you know, 193 people is what the numbers were we ran there. It's crazy. So just think bigger. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed hearing our little journey here about what we're documenting on our expansion here. But it is springtime in 2025. No matter when you're watching this video, really any time of year is a great time to start a business. But right now is awesome because it's, you know, the spring rush is coming up. February, March, April is kind of when a lot of people start cleaning, doing spring cleaning, getting their houses clean. So getting a cleaning business up and going right now is an awesome time, but really anytime. And it's just like, again, get in front of that wave, get in front of that rush of people that are looking for these services. They're gonna be looking, so just get in front of the right people, go fishing in the right ponds. That's the marketing. We can help you with that too, but that's what we're doing, guys. So anyways, we'll share more updates as we roll into this new market, but I think we're deciding we're going to do it, right, Brandon?
I think we're doing it, yeah.
I think we're doing it. We were kind of uncertain before, you know, doing this trip, but I think, again, this is why spending the time to do these things, guys, or investing in knowledge, investing in yourself, investing in time to research the market, it gives you clarity. Once you have clarity, you can move forward and take massive action. And really, at the end of the day, that's what's going to change your business. It's not, you know, some magic formula or some silver bullet or something. It's doing the hard work, getting out there and getting after it. And so we're just sharing with you guys what we're doing on the inside because we're actually doing it and we're doing it with you guys. So if you want to join us, come join us, guys. But we're gonna roll into this other video. We had another video last night at our Airbnb, so we like documented all this stuff. I think it'll be fun to share with you guys. So let's roll into that video. But anything else to share, Brandon?
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean, guys. What's up, everyone? We got Brandon and Brandon here with the Profit Cleaners, doing a little something different today. Tell them what we're doing, Brandon.
We are researching a new market. So we've driven to a place. We don't want to tell you about it necessarily, but we're just going to tell you what our process is like, trying to figure out, should we open a location in this market? So
yeah,
what do we do today?
Yeah, a lot of you guys that are getting your cleaning business started, you might have a vision for the future of expanding. And a lot of you, we actually talked to someone today that was like in a market in the East Coast that wanted to expand and they need help with that. So these are all the things we would think through and think about when we're going to a new market. So we're going to just walk you through it, kind of like our thinking behind it and the strategy and the tactics behind what we would look at a new market and what makes it a good market to go into.
Yeah.
So
let's walk over here.
Let's do it. We're going to show you guys our behind the scenes notes.
All right, so we checked out some neighborhoods. These are the 4 that we identified and a 5th maybe. So we went through all these neighborhoods, we drove through them, we checked them out. 3 of these have golf clubs involved. Like there's a country club in those neighborhoods. A lot of these houses are on golf courses.
Yep.
So we did that. This is like, what did we learn today? We learned about these neighborhoods. We learned some things from the Chamber of Commerce. So we learned that they think the city is very business friendly, which is great. There's a higher minimum wage than a nearby city, which is way bigger. So hypothetically, the labor pool is larger over here.
Yeah.
The city's growing quickly. We noticed that today. There's a lot of construction. There's a lot of new houses under construction. There's a lot of commercial development under construction. So that's a good sign. It's a healthy economy down here, which is nice.
Yeah.
Let's see, we learned that a house builder is using green building materials, recycled building materials. So we may have an in with that builder to just be like, hey, we're a green cleaning company. We could cross promote in your stuff.
Yep.
And then we also learned that demographically speaking, there's a lot of retirees, maybe some snowbirds that come south when it's warmer. And so we need to know, is it seasonal? Do they disappear when it's too hot in the summer? So business is going to go down in the summer. So that was just something we wanted to check out.
Well, we're trying to figure out too, like where are all these people coming from? All these houses are being built. It's like what's driving the growth. So that's why it's really good to talk to the chamber and they'll tell you what's driving it. And they told us all sorts of businesses that were growing and expanding. And so again, just a good sign that it's not stagnant, the market's growing, there's movement, and that's a good place to get in front of that traffic and that movement, right? So
we also called some competition, so we got some data down here. We got prices from A Mary Maids franchise. We learned a couple things which were interesting. My favorite was that Mary Maids apparently doesn't clean the whole house every time. They only detail 2 rooms when they come in, and it's on a rotation. So all of it'll get cleaned eventually, but if you're getting cleaned every 2 weeks, and you have 6 rooms in your house, or 12, like it's gonna take a long time before they come back to detail the kitchen. I just thought that was so weird.
Yeah, this is why it's so key, guys, to call your competitors, because you'll realize like there's holes in their systems. There's people we called today were like making me do extra work and make me think, and they were like making it really inconvenient. It's like, that's an opportunity for you to come in, be quicker to help people, be faster to respond. That's how you're going to win this business.
That call that Brandon was on also took 25 minutes to get to pricing. That should, if every call is taking half an hour, you're only going to be able to do 15 contacts a day. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then the other competition, which like we think this Mary Maids is the market leader. They have 135 reviews. There's another one that has 85. Everyone else after that has like 10. So these are the 2 top dogs. The other one which was interesting was we called them, they answered the phone, which was great. The Mary Maids franchise did not answer the phone the first time around. It took 2 calls, and the second call rang 4 or 5 times. This one did answer the phone, but then they made Brandon like, hey, can you just write this number down and then text me the address when you're done? So like you couldn't text the business line. We're texting an employee's personal phone. They got pricing back right away, which was nice. The downside on that one was that the manager had to come see the house in person to give you recurring costs. And we, for this phone call, had phrased it like, Brandon's moving down here, his wife got a job, we haven't bought a house yet, we've narrowed it down to 2, I'm just trying to find an eco-friendly cleaner to do it. So that was it. Oh, the other thing we learned about Mary Maids was they use ammonium chloride for cleaning, which they claim is green. Ammonium is what we used to clean with, like what my grandmother used to clean with back in the day. It's how people hurt themselves a lot, because if you mix it with bleach, that generates chlorine gas if you're not paying attention. So I wouldn't say ammonium is environmentally friendly. I think the hydrogen peroxide we use is much more environmentally friendly.
Yeah, exactly. So again, we wouldn't know this if we hadn't called the competition, but it just exposes so many things. You're like, wow, I didn't know they did that. Or again, it's good for your team to know, because now they can talk intelligently about, you don't want to talk bad about your competition, but you want to say, here's how we're different, right? And we don't do these things. We do things better and different.
Right. So then we had a general knowledge brainstorm. We learned that there's lots of new construction, new development, which is great. We learned that downtown is kind of run down, and that was kind of scary when we first got here, because we were like, this isn't what we were looking for. Yeah. But when you get outside of downtown, it was a lot nicer. We learned that the north side of town is where the fancy houses are. There's 213,000 population in the metro area. We learned about the big employers. There's a university, there's a lot of local government, there's an army facility nearby that a lot of people work at, and there's a big utility that's expanding. And then conveniently, while we were here, the state government announced a $5 billion jobs program, which is launching in this part of the state. And it's supposed to bring 1,000 well-paid jobs to town. So that boasts well for people buying those houses and us cleaning those houses. We also wrote some challenges down. There's a couple big immigration checkpoints down here, and so we've got some employees that are a little bit spooked about the new administration and ICE and stuff, and so even though they're legal, they're just really panicked about it. So we're going to have to deal with what it's like to go through those checkpoints. We'll figure that out tomorrow, because we're going to go through those checkpoints ourselves, so we'll have a better idea. Right. The distance from the home office, this is several hours away, so it's just a challenge. Yeah. We want to make sure we nail the launch marketing, which is not something we did so hot when we did the Texas expansion.
Yep.
I wanted to know if our second location in Google is going to still show up the same. Like, will it still show up with 800 reviews, or are people thinking that they're going to be hiring an Albuquerque company? I just want to make sure that that's clear that we're here. We want to make sure we do the training right. So we have proposed we'll send a team from down here to do 2 days in Albuquerque training in person, and then the trainer will come back with that team and do 3 concentrated days down here doing free review cleans, which is what we tell you guys before you expand. So we're going to do the same thing.
And even though we already have 800, almost 900 reviews, whatever it is, like those reviews will show up in this market when we add a new location on our Google listing. However, we're still doing those review cleans for, again, reviews are always gold, but it's just good practice. It's good training to get your teams used to the systems so that when you go into paid customers' houses, they're already dialed in and they know.
But it's also a local review in this location.
That's true.
Someone, a Google user that Google knows, left a review for this company, which said they launched here. And so now Google is linking these two things together. They're doing it here.
Yep.
And ideally, those reviews, and we'll push this to the first review cleans, you got to post pictures. Pictures and reviews make a big difference. Those pictures have a geotag on it with your phone, so Google knows where the picture was taken and that it was taken here. So all of that just bodes well for the SEO shenanigans.
Exactly.
We talked about laundry. We are not going to launch with an office. We're not going to launch with a full laundry system. So we're going to have to sort out a laundromat, or we're going to have to pay a team lead to do it. We just need to write that down.
Yeah, that's how you guys bootstrap it. Is you can launch out of a storage unit. You can launch out of a house. You could use your own laundry system, a laundromat. That's how we do it in the beginning, and then you move into a full system that you can save a lot of money on doing it yourself. So.
Yep. And then local management. So I think the proposal right now is that San Diego Green Clean will hire a customer service rep that will take calls in both this city and Albuquerque, but they will be based here. Yep. And then they're the boots on the ground. So if the car gets into a minor fender bender, they're the ones that are going to go out and help. This is the person that's going to receive packages and make sure that our storage unit is packed up. So we want someone else that's not a cleaner to be on the ground here.
Yeah, exactly. Because that could cause some major issues, if you've got a team afar and you can't manage it. So having a more of a leadership position, I think would be really helpful. And
yep.
So.
All right, and then we brainstormed some launch marketing ideas. We wrote down billboards, radio ads, TV ads, a Google digital campaign. Everything's going to point to a pre-launch landing page, so we can just gather names and emails of people that might be interested. We're going to give away 3 months to probably a few people, like 5 people are going to get 3 months cleaning. That's just a bonus when you get to that landing page. This is why people are going to fill it in. I want 3 months free cleaning.
Right.
We're trying to launch with a full team. I want to launch with 45 biweekly customers when we start, or biweekly equivalents. We're going to make some local ambassador contacts. We have already identified 2. They are both real estate agents. So the idea is we're going to give them some print media. They'll be able to hand it out. And those local ambassadors are where we're going to get our review cleans from. So we're going to do their houses, some people in their network. That's where we're going to get 10, 20 cleans out of the way as training.
Yeah, and we literally just walked into this restaurant today, was like voted best of the city, and the owner just came up to us. We told her what we were doing, and we were like, hey, do you think there's a market here? Like what, and we just asked her questions, and she was like really nice and helpful.
She was great.
And so this is what you guys need to do. Just go out, talk to people in the community that are connectors, and they will connect you to more people. And if you're not in the market, that's how you do it. And you find the ambassadors, the connectors will probably just clean their house for free and make them talk about us to all their friends. And that's a great way to do it, because we're not going to make them do it. They're going to feel compelled to do it because they're going to be like, this is awesome. I get my house cleaned for free. I'm going to tell everyone. This is awesome, right? So some ambassadors locally would be awesome to help.
We also talked about we talked about the Chamber of Commerce. They're all about ribbon cutting. So can we schedule a ribbon cutting somewhere, even though we don't have an office? So we're going to figure that out.
Open up the storage unit and cut the ribbon.
Yeah, look at it. There's a shelf. Yeah, so we talked about finding a local event. Like Albuquerque has the Balloon Fiesta. How cool would it be to launch a company at the Balloon Fiesta? We don't know if this city has those events. I'm sure they do, but we just don't know if they're going to fit our timeline. So we crossed that one out. We crossed out billboards too, because we've never done billboards. And frankly, I didn't see a lot of billboards down where we are. So that's probably not a good use of time. We talked about doing a radio broadcast, like back in the day when I used to listen to the radio. DJs would set up in the parking lot of like a car dealership for a big sale, and they would broadcast all day long from out there. Can we do that with a bunch of San Diego Green Clean cars down here? What would that look like?
And also, this is just another reason to create hype and create a story and create buzz. Anything you can do for these like local newspapers and radio stations, they love content. We specifically got a radio because there's older generations, retirees here. Maybe they listen to the radio more. So that might be an interesting one to test.
That's why we jumped to radio, was the old folks.
But the primary focus is still going to be
the digital.
Digital and some local stuff, organic stuff we're doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see, we talked about local print media. So there's got to be a newspaper down here. Can we reach out to them? Like, hey, this big company from Albuquerque is going to launch down here and expand to this new market. And you guys run this story and we'll buy a half-page color ad. Like we're going to quid pro quo it. But Brandon pointed out that they also just need content, so they might just run that story anyway. That might just be newsworthy on its own.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to love it because it's a local small town. They love, new business, stuff like that. So any story they'll talk about, I'm pretty sure.
Longtime listeners will be aware that I like planes, and so I wrote down we should put a banner behind a plane and tow it around the city and just fly in circles, and then we crossed that one out because we're not going to do that. Like, it was a fun brainstorm idea.
We might still do it. I like that idea. I don't know, Brandon.
I don't know how much it costs to do that. I'm guessing it's expensive.
Yeah, it's probably crazy. But Brandon's almost got his pilot's license, so you could just fly it around.
Sure. I'll just get that knocked out next week.
Yeah.
We also put on here that we're going to do an early bird discount / maybe lock-in pricing. So like if you fill out that form online before we launch, not only are you entered to win one of 3 free months of cleaning, but you may also get, like maybe we haven't talked this out yet. Like we'll guarantee that we won't raise your prices for 2 years, or you'll get this 20% discount off of the pricing for a couple of years or 18 months or whatever it is. So like we're just trying to incentivize them to really perform on the call to action. That's all.
Exactly. And the more exciting you make it, the more compelling, the more people are going to sign up. And then we have a better chance of having a great launch list to call up and get on the schedule and launch with a full team. So
yeah. And then because we have these golf communities that we've looked at, like all of them have clubhouses. They probably have newsletters. Can we get in that newsletter? Can we put some print like billboards up, like they're called Johnny boards, like they're above urinals sometimes, but like is there some advertising we could do physically in the clubhouse? Yep. And then that turned into, well, should we just do the launch event at one of these golf country clubs? There's also a pretty big deal winery down here that has a big location, so maybe we partner with those golf places and do this tandem event at that place.
Yeah. So guys, we're just getting creative. We're writing down a bunch of ideas. We're literally in this garage of this Airbnb because that's how we do it. We rent Airbnbs and go look at new markets this way and do crazy brainstorms in garages. So.
All right, so then all that turned into, okay, how long is it going to take us to do the thing?
Yeah.
So you got to follow me here. We're all over the place, but this is week 0.
Okay.
We're going to prep. We're going to buy a car. We're going to record these ads for the radio. We're going to design some print ads for that newspaper, for some brochures, wherever we're going to put it.
Yep.
We're going to build a landing page. We're going to print some physical handout that the local ambassadors get. It's a brochure. It's a card with a QR code on it. I don't know. We'll figure that out later.
Yeah.
We're going to schedule this event and launch, so we need to book a space. We need to make sure that they know what's happening. We need to advertise that it's happening.
Yeah.
And then we're going to use the ambassadors to get some review cleans scheduled. What are their addresses? When can we come to it? So that's what we're going to look for there.
So it's like a 5-week kind of launch timeline that we're coming up with, right?
Yeah, so week 0, prepping. Week 1, we've got the car. We're going to turn the car in for paint. That usually takes a week. We dropped it off at the body shop. It's going to come back in a week. And then we're going to hire the team at the same time. So during this week, we're going to do interviews. We're going to talk to people. We're going to identify our cleaners, our team leads.
Yep.
The next week, we're going to get the car back from the body shop. The paint, some of you are doing wraps, so this doesn't apply to you, but on our end, the paint has to cure for 2 weeks before we can put a sticker on it. Otherwise, you risk damaging the paint. So 2 weeks. During those 2 weeks, the first week, we're going to have the team that we just hired come up to Albuquerque, go out with some teams. This is what we're shooting for. We're shooting for this big high throughput cleaning company. This is what you're in store for. So come do that. Then they'll go back home. The next week, our trainer's going to come down with the car without stickers on it, with all the equipment. We'll get the storage unit set up. That reminds me, I'm going to write this down right here. We need to set up the storage unit.
Live on the spot. Brainstorming right here, guys.
Yep. And down here, we're going to write storage unit. So we make sure we sign a lease somewhere. So they'll come back. When they drive, the trainer's going to drive the car down here with a personal vehicle in tow. They'll bring all the cleaning equipment. During that week when they're down here, they'll do these review cleans that we identified from the brand ambassadors. We'll get local reviews with the pictures, and it's coming from phones that have GPS connections where we're at, so that's awesome. And then week 4, paid customers. So we're gonna have that launch event, like maybe over that weekend before week 4. On Monday, we've got ideally 30 to 40 paying customers out of the gate.
Yep.
And that's how you launch a new team. That's how you launch a new location.
That's it. It could also be like a brand new cleaning business, I guess, potentially too, right?
Yes, yeah,
like,
same thing. Like, is your market ripe for this? We know that there are one competitor that's kind of like Top Dog that has maybe not so hot customer service. We know there's a secondary one that's competing, but has really not so hot customer service.
Yeah.
The pricing is comparable with what we're charging in Albuquerque. In some cases, a lot higher. Like we got quoted $1,100 for an initial clean. Shoot, man, like if we're gonna come in under that, we charge a lot for one-time cleans, but the initial, I want to incentivize you, the paying customer, to sign up for us, so I'm not gonna hit you so hard on the initial.
Right.
I'll hit you hard on a one-time because you're not coming back, but on the initial,
right.
Sure, man, come on in, let's do it.
Yeah.
So yes, you could totally launch that. We did some competitor research. We identified some places where our customers likely hang out. After we stop this video, we are going to pull up some Esri data. We've got a guy for that. We're going to have him find the disposable income in the city. I would bet dollars to donuts that it's in the same areas that we've already figured out.
Yeah.
And then, from there, like if you were doing this from scratch, your week 0 prep is probably more like 2 to 3 weeks, and you're gonna do ordering of supplies because you don't have any supplies.
Yep.
You're gonna build out a website. You're gonna get your account set up with tidy your sales. You're gonna get all that marketing dialed in. We already have all that dialed in. So us moving to a new location is just going into TYS and being like, launch new campaign in this zip code, and that's it.
Exactly, guys. So, that's like a basic outline, I would say, for getting into a new market. Somebody that we're potentially going to be working with in another market across the United States just today was texting me. He's like, "Hey man, I'm concerned." He had some questions, right? He was like, "What if I can't get the money, charge enough, for the cleans? What if people don't want the services? What if I can't get a team in place?" These are probably just common questions you're asking yourself if you're like going to a new market or starting from scratch. You probably have even more uncertainty because you're not sure what's going to happen next. But what would you say in response to those questions, Brandon? Like, what if people don't want the service? What if people don't want to pay the price?
You got to lean on the market research. So You called the competitors, right? They quoted you ridiculous prices. They're only quoting those prices because people are paying those prices. If people weren't paying those prices, they would have already dialed back and quoted you something way more reasonable. So the fact that there are other cleaning companies already there means there's a demand.
There is demand.
So there's that.
Right.
So why are they going to choose you? Go read the reviews for those companies, read the 1-stars. What are they doing wrong? We already identified a few things they're doing wrong. One of them is claiming to use chemicals that definitely aren't green.
Yep.
They're rotating through detailing your rooms. That's not great. So stand apart from those things. We definitely use green cleaning stuff. It's hydrogen peroxide. When it breaks down, it's just water and oxygen. Like you can't get any more green than water and oxygen.
Yep.
We're going to answer the phone every time. That's what TYS does. You can text us. One of them made you text the rep personal cell phone number. Nope, we have a number you can text the business line.
Yeah.
So there's always, you just have to think you're outmaneuvering the competition.
Yes.
You know there's a market, they're here.
Yes.
We know you're gonna do better because you are with us, the Profit Cleaners. We've identified all these systems to help you do this from the get-go.
Yeah, absolutely, guys, because you're modeling success, and a lot of people are just kind of like winging this. They're not following systems, they don't even have systems, and really your biggest opportunity, just like we did today when we called the competitors, we saw flaws, we saw a bad experience happen. So that's your opportunity. It could be the same product, but if you offer people a better experience, you help them solve their problem faster, you get back to them faster, you just make them feel great and say, wow, that was amazing. Like, what kind of cleaning company does that? That's the differentiating, that's one of the biggest things you can do to set yourself apart. And most of these local brands are not doing any of that. They're just very, very mediocre. So that's a huge opportunity to create value. So people say, wow, and they're willing to pay a higher price for more reliability, more trust, more professionalism, more, just better streamlined systems, more peace of mind. So I know, this is the best company. These are the best people to work with. So, and then what about finding teams? People are like, I'm worried about, what if I can't get teams? Like, people.
You're not going to know until you post a job ad.
Right.
Post a job ad. Let's see. Everyone's down here working. They've got jobs. Like, the other thing you could do is just browse job ads without posting your own. So
there you go.
Are people hiring? How much are they paying? That'll give you an idea of how much you're going to pay to be able to compete with that.
Yeah.
Is nobody hiring? That might be a really bad sign. Like in this case where we're at, there's new businesses being built. Those are being built because they expect to be able to hire people. And you're competing with those businesses for hiring good people.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't, everyone's been able to hire people. It's just a matter of dialing in your pitch to the employees. This is how much we're going to pay you versus the competition. And this is why we're different. It's a small local business. We understand you're a human. We're not going to fire you if your kid throws up in the morning and you can't make it. Like all these things that we've taught everyone over the years between the podcast and then more specifically in the course. There's lots of details in there about how to do that, but there's a way.
So that's why, really, guys, if you're uncertain about some of these things, you have more questions, you're like, you're going to have a million questions, but this is why we have the mentorship, the community, the Profit Cleaners Mastermind, everything we've created. We're doing this business with you guys. So if you're starting a new market, launching into a new market, join us in the mastermind and the coaching. We will help you get way more clarity, way more certainty and confidence of what to do next, how to do it, overcome the fears of like, oh my gosh, what if this happens or this happens? Stuff's going to happen. Business is a risk, but if you can invest in yourself and have knowledge comes from experience, which means you're already reducing the risk. You're basing it off of real experience and proven systems and things that we're doing. So we can just take that, put it in your market, help you do the same thing in your market. Tell them, Brandon, where they can find out the masterclass.
So it's profitcleaners.com/masterclass. It's just that easy.
It's a 15-minute video. You can learn more about what we're doing behind the scenes. If you guys want to work with us, hop on a call with Brandon or I or someone on our team. We'll share with you what we can do to help. But go to profitcleaners.com/masterclass. And you'll get way more trainings like this. Jump in the course. We lay out all the systems, all of the details, everything you need to know. So that's what we made it for, just to help you guys truly get this business off the ground into new markets and take it to the next level and win. So
there you go. Keep it clean.
Keep it clean, guys.
Thanks for joining us today. To get more info, including show notes, updates, trainings, and super cool free stuff, head over to profitcleaners.com. And remember, keep it clean.